E agora eu queria chamar um conterrâneo cearense, o amigo Matheus da BRLA, por favor. Boa. Stablecoins, right? Well, we have some, as I said, there are so many use cases for crypto, but stablecoins are a killer use cases, one of the killer use cases. If you take, for example, Venezuela as a country, you see how that is important for people to flee the devaluation of the currency. But other than that, it also connects economies, markets, different industries, and so on. So I'd like for you guys to introduce yourselves, your businesses, and what you're building in your businesses.
Okay. Hey, everyone. I'm Matheus from BRLA Digital. We basically built a stablecoin of BRL because we have a vision that global payments will be transacted from a connection of local payments and blockchain. And to create this vision, we need to have deep liquidity of stablecoins interacting with each other for many currencies. So we decided to build the Brazilian part of it. And now we are connecting BRLA with many potential partners to build this liquidity and go after our vision.
Hopefully soon El Dorado as well. So hi everyone, my name is Guillermo Goncalves. I'm super happy to be here. I'm originally from Venezuela, born and raised. I started working in crypto back in 2013. I built one of the earliest Bitcoin mining companies in Latin America, co-founded the Ethereum Venezuela community, and have been advocating for the use of stable coins since the very early days. And for the past 4 years, I've been leading El Dorado, which is a peer-to-peer stablecoin marketplace that operates in 6 countries of Latin America, including Brazil, Venezuela, Argentina, Colombia, Peru, and Panama. And yeah, excited to be here and share some insights about the usage of stablecoins in some of the countries where we operate, and share some of my excitement towards the cross-border use case of crypto.
That's cool. So let's get right into it, and I will start with the question that is in the slide. What's more to it? What's more to stablecoins? And what I mean is, we see the use cases, the clear use cases for payments and so on, but we are also seeing creation of ecosystems around it. So if you take, for example, DAI, right? Of course, different types, an algorithmic type of stablecoin, but it is structured in a way where it's part of a money market fund, right? You use that money to borrow USDC against your crypto assets. So looking at examples like this, what do you guys think that there is more to stablecoins? Where are some of these opportunities that we don't usually see, like front-facing, like cross-border payments, helping people have access to it? And I mean, like, even in industries, like, where can it disrupt structures?
Cool. I think until now, most of the use cases of stablecoins are concentrated on trading. So basically, you trade and you want to get your money back, and you prefer to go to USDT, so it's easier to trade again, or USDC, than to go down to your own fiat currency and then have to off-ramp again. It's more expensive and inefficient. And also for people that want to hold USD stablecoins, right, in other countries. I do think that we have space for other currencies to have its stablecoins to the same use case, but much less than to start building things for the Web2 traditional companies, as you want to say. So the first that you already mentioned, now is the time that companies like BRLA and El Dorado are building some incentive and platforms for companies to operate in, companies and individuals to operate in. This will build liquidity between many currencies in these stablecoin formats on-chain, and this will be used to be the killer app for cross-border payments. Because as of now, anyone using stablecoins for cross-border payment is basically using the banking rails, converting to crypto, and using the banking rails again to off-ramp, right? So basically, you are less efficient and not more efficient than most because you have to use the banking system. But imagine a world that we have billions of dollars of liquidity on-chain. This is a world that cross-border payments could do on-chain, very efficient. This is the way we think. The other thing that people are building is those yield-bearing stablecoins. Yeah. Everyone that uses APIs here and try to go after like compose yields of treasure in an automated system through APIs, it's impossible to do that with the traditional banks. Like, even like banks like BTG, Itaú, they don't have functional APIs, not either for their bank account, imagine for the investment account. So having a composable treasure on-chain is something that could also be a use case for many, many things.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. We'll get right into on-chain later because I think it's the next step. But what do you think about what's more to it in the stablecoins, Guillermo?
Yeah, so to provide some metrics into the picture, I think that it's valuable to say that stablecoins are already pretty big. So this year, we will have over $20 trillion in stablecoin volumes around the world. This is more than Visa's transacting volume. And on the other side, stablecoins are playing a pivotal role in the macro and even geopolitical world. Let's remember that stablecoins today are the 16th holder of US bonds. And if that goes like 5x or 10x, it's going to be pretty interesting, all of us holding US bonds and the US government getting more power thanks to all of us using stablecoins. So that's going to be pretty interesting. But in terms of next steps, I believe that stablecoins are the underlying technology for many other use cases. And I think that a good analogy is like something like pigs. Once you have real-time payments, the sky is the limit, and you never go back. That's right. So some things that I'm excited about, like I'm excited, for instance, about local stable coins, like the Brazilian real stable coins. I often joke with some friends that I would love to eventually short 100x the Venezuelan Bolivar against USDT. So whoever wants to build that, I'm willing to be a customer.
I don't think anyone wants to take the other side.
The other side. So yeah, that's one of many different use cases that we will see popping up with stable coins, local stable coins, saving products, and buy now, pay later, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, that's cool. So before we get into on-chain stuff and so on, you touch on a point that is very, very interesting. So in Brazil right now, USDT is the main stablecoin used. I won't remember the number of on-ramps and deposits, but it got to a point that got the government worried about the flow of capital. So when we look at that, it could be a function of many things, but one of them is the distrust in who takes care of the money, right? So when we look at that, and like Latin America is clearly a great place for it, where are you guys seeing the demand coming from? I mean, you from your marketplace and you from the industry. Like, who is, of course, again, we have people that send remittances, we have these front-facing things, but where are you guys seeing this demand? Because we see here in Brazil, like there's already 60,000 CNPJs, like businesses that are touching crypto somehow. They have that in their treasuries, they've bought it in some exchange and so on. So what do you guys see on that, on the demand side?
Okay, I think in Brazil, what we see is there are basically four big markets. The first one would be traditional, like centralized exchanges, so mostly for trading use cases. The other one is crypto startups building like many things. For example, DeFi protocols or people selling coupons for crypto or tokenization. They are also using a lot of the stablecoins to make their operations. And also, there's a lot of other market in Brazil that uses a lot crypto, which is the gambling industry. So the gambling industry is very big, and they use a lot crypto. And we know that many shoppers, small merchants that sells products that they buy in China also use cryptos for settlements. So this is another big market in Brazil. I think those are the four with 90% of the volume for, at least for USDT today.
Nice. Where are you seeing the money coming from in countries? Like, how is it looking?
Yeah, I think this is where we have quite different use cases. So El Dorado has a decent presence in countries like Venezuela or Argentina. And there, the number one use case is hedging against inflation. So something interesting that what we see on El Dorado is that every end of the month, when people get paid, we see spikes on our volumes on the platform. And that's because Venezuelans and Argentinians are rushing to exchange their local currency to USDT or USDC. So I think that's fascinating. On the other side, we also have many people who use USDT for cross-border payments. There are over 7 million Venezuelan migrants all over Latin America and the US. And USDT has become a pretty interesting way for them to connect back with their families back home with paying very little fees that they would be otherwise using something like Western Union or maybe some sketchy like Instagram page or something. So that's the second use case. And third, we also have a bunch of freelancers and remote workers who use El Dorado. So imagine Argentinians or Colombians who work for companies in the US or Europe, and they get paid in a variety of payment methods like Wise, Revolut, PayPal, Pioneer, and so on. So they are using El Dorado peer-to-peer to basically streamline their own money between different accounts. So they're just using USDT as a kind of a smart router to get their money to something like Pix or to something like Mercado Pago that they can actually use in their local economy.
Yeah, we see many of these use cases coming up, and again, they solve actual problems, right? The cross-border payments and so on. When we look, still before we get on chain, because that's another thing. Before we get into that, I wanted to get your thoughts on the CBDCs, right? So in Brazil, we have the DRAX coming. Some people say it's a wholesale CBDC that is just for commercial banks. Some people say it's a platform. Maybe it's a bit of all these things. So when we look at that, there's two things that I would like to touch here. First, your opinion on the CBDCs in itself, they use, and what's the case for them. And the second is, in this scenario where things are connected, how does the financial institutions that usually want to have the reserves will play in this scenario? How do you guys are seeing that?
Okay, so the way we see CBDCs today is basically it's gonna legitimize a lot of things that we do on blockchain, and it's that today doesn't have the clear regulatory path around it. So payments is one of those, but also it will be possible to create decentralized exchanges for things like cars or real estate, and even create exchanges to compete against the stock exchange B3 in Brazil in a way that the government can keep track of the exchanges of stocks, for example. And also can be used for tokenizing collateral for that and make the managing of collateral and interactions with the legal system much efficient than they are today. So we see a lot of use cases for CBDCs. We understand that this will legitimize a lot of the blockchain activity in the country, and we will put a lot of companies that are now afraid to interact with blockchain or blockchain solutions to, okay, this is normal, this my country is doing. There are some service providers around that. The same way there are service providers around traditional financial systems that they don't know how they works it, just like they don't know about blockchain. So we see it depends on how it goes, but it could potentially have a very positive spin for innovation and for new companies coming up.
Nice. Yeah, that's why we are here. We want that to happen and not being something restrictive and so on. Guillermo.
Yeah, on my side, I'm a big fan of private initiatives, so I'm a bigger proponent of private stablecoins. But I have to appreciate the work that the Brazilian Central Bank has done over the past few years, including things like PIX that for anyone who is from outside of Brazil is just massively impressive to see everyone paying everything for free, basically. So in that context, I think that real-world assets and tokenization of digital reais or stocks or bonds with the government or the central bank playing an active role could be massively important for the tech ecosystem here in Brazil. Like, as you mentioned, the use cases are quite broad. You can build from decentralized exchanges to marketplaces to products on top of these real-world assets, like lending protocols on top of these real-world assets. So I'm very excited to see what's coming for Brazil on that regard.
Yeah. So when we look to the on-chain world now, so we have
on-chain summer coming soon.
Hopefully. When we look on-chain, we see many tryouts, I would say, many types of stable coins. We have seen stable coins that are tried to be based out of the trading basis, basically the difference between the futures price of an asset and its current price on the spot